Hi, my name's Steve Eddy. I'm a naturopath and I've got 4 science degrees. But most importantly from all of that, I've run a marathon in 2014 and 2015. So I'm a marathon runner. That's my claim to fame. And who have we got today? We've got Lachlan Stuart.
Also a marathon runner. I've run a couple.
You do a little bit of running, don't you?
Just a tad.
Little bit of running?
Easing into it.
Have you got any, things coming up in the future that you may want to talk about?
I do.
Interesting? What are you going to do? You're going to run a marathon?
Yeah, inspired by your marathons. I'm looking to run 58 marathons. So I just thought, if Steve's done a couple, I'm going to do a couple more.
Hang on, I misheard that. I thought you said 58.
I did say 58. It's going to be a very, very exciting journey.
Yep.
That started with the idea of being able to see a landscape and travel the world, or travel America and travel Australia. And then we thought to raise awareness and also challenge myself and put myself through a condensed marathon of life, essentially, which I can dive into later.
Wow.
That's what we thought we'd do. And I still pinch myself that I actually get to do it, Steve, because a lot of people talk about it. I've probably spoken about a lot of things in my life that I haven't done. Mm-hmm. And logistically, when we looked at 58 marathons, we got a team of 4 coming with us. How are we going to fund it? How are we going to raise sponsorships? All of these sorts of things. Can my body do it? All of that sort of stuff started probably 8 months ago. And
wow.
Yeah, the fact that it's about to happen is so exciting.
So 58 marathons. A marathon is 42.2 kilometres for those who are playing along at home, or 26.3 miles for the Yanks. I think it's 20. I should have researched it.
26.2, but I'll run 26.3 just to make sure the watch doesn't pull me up short.
I'm sure that lasts, 0.1 of a miles, no problem. Now, it's 58 marathons. Okay, so let me get this right. Is that going to take you over the whole year, or how long are you going to do 58 marathons?
58 consecutive days. So we'll start on the 22nd of January in Alaska, which will probably be minus 15 degrees.
Yeah, it's winter in Alaska in January.
I know. I get to wear some nice, comfortable clothing over there and new shoes. I'm testing all of that out, but it's going to be cold. It's going to be very cold, but I much prefer being able to warm up wearing skins and all of that sort of stuff, as opposed to the humidity that I'm running in at the moment in Brisbane is destroying me.
So you're probably going to be your last American marathon. I've never asked you this, but is it in Hawaii?
It is Hawaii, yep.
So that's how you're doing it.
Helps with the time, the time zone. So we run the last one in San Diego, and then we'll fly out of Los Angeles to Hawaii to Sydney. So I think within a 30-hour period, I'm running 3 marathons on that leg, which is going to be very challenging. So I think there's
very challenging. That's
very, very challenging. And we land in Sydney at 6:20 in the afternoon, a day, because you lose that day.
Yeah.
So I have to, as soon as I get off the plane, I run another marathon in Sydney, which is going to be very interesting. But I've been preparing, Steve. So even when we flew back, because we live in Nashville now, so when we flew back, we came via Hawaii, so LA, Hawaii, back to Brisbane. So I've been sort of rehearsing. So I've been running half marathons the whole way, sort of seeing how the body adapts.
Oh, my God.
So far it's felt pretty good. So aside from a few niggles in the ankles, I'm feeling very good.
It's incredible, because what I feel like getting off the plane is going home and going to sleep. But you're going to get off the plane from an international flight and land at 6:20 in the evening in summer in Sydney, and you're going to run a marathon from the airport, or,
Yeah, that's in my head. I have the Opera House is the beautiful place to start, because we've got a documentary crew coming. So, part of the idea is running, but also making it look cool. So ideally, but if a flight gets delayed, Qantas has texted me twice already and moved the flight, pushed the flight by an hour, I think it was initially. And then last night it pushed another one. So if Qantas is listening, please don't do that. It's stressing me out a little bit.
Oh my God.
But yeah, if we are
stressing me out,
push late, we'll just run from the airport for sure.
That's crazy, comical, tough. All these words come to mind, but the airport is people don't know, Sydney Airport is really busy. There's traffic everywhere around there. I used to run around the airport area, actually, because I used to have a lot of meetings in Sydney, and we'd get off the plane, have it in the Qantas lounge, the meeting, and I'd stay at a hotel there, and I'd run around there, and I'd run past, not a marathon though. Just a 10K run in the morning, but that's absolutely, that's holistic. Okay, so let's go back to the first marathon. You're going to be in Alaska. Obviously, that's very northern America, very, very cold. And I mean, have you thought about running in snow?
We were very fortunate last year. So Nashville, where we were, is in the south, and it actually snowed last year. It had the most snow it's had in as long as I can recall, I think it was awesome.
Wow.
So when that happened, I was out there running, we got to minus 15 snow. So the furthest I ran was about 14 kilometers. So, to a third of a marathon, but it gave me a good, I guess, experience of running in the snow. Then my wife and I went on tour, like a radio tour, and we were able to do South Carolina and all of that in the snow. So I got very comfortable with it, looking for black ice and everything like that. But then since I've committed to it and knowing that it's going to be cold, I've started listening to people who've done, there's a bloke who did an Ironman in Antarctica. I don't know if you've heard of that guy, and watching how he trained, and he was very meticulous with what he wore, because he's like, if you wear something that's too warm, you're going to sweat and then get hypothermia. Yep. If you don't wear enough, you're also going to get hypothermia. So either way, you're pretty screwed. So
screwed. Well, we've had Dean Carnensis on the show here about 2 or 3 years ago, and he'd ran a marathon in Antarctica, and we talked to him about it. And he's only done 50 states, 50 marathons in 50 days. You're doing 58, and I mean, it blew me away what he's doing. But you're throwing an international flight in the middle of it all. Plus, you're going to be running, I guess, in Queensland, you're going to be doing a marathon in the heat.
Yeah, in Darwin would be pretty challenging, I think.
So you're counting the territories too, I guess.
Yeah, all 8 states and territories. So it's going to be one of the best ways to see America and Australia, I think, especially when you're on
foot. The worst.
So, yeah, all the worst. I'll confirm in 4 months' time, Steve. I'll be able to tell you how it feels, but I think even going back to Dean, there's Dean and the Iron Cowboy, plenty of people who've done similar things previously that I've been able to watch there and learn from them through their books and podcasts. And James, the Iron Cowboy, has documentaries. So learning how they did it and seeing some of the things that I could potentially be in store for, but also understanding that there's going to be a lot of stuff that goes wrong that I can't prepare for.
Well, I mean, you've got to, firstly, just running a marathon. Like when I ran the marathon, it took me 3 hours, 52 minutes. And
that's fine for anyone who doesn't know. That's a really good time.
Well, yeah, but it was on the Gold Coast where I live. Very flat, very cold. It was the middle of winter. Perfect conditions, sunny, 20 degrees. The perfect. And I almost like at the end there, I was screwed for a week. Like seriously, I was. Yeah. I don't know how the next day if someone said run a marathon or shoot yourself, I'd say where are the bullets? Where are the bullets? Seriously, that was tough work. That was so tough. Yeah. It was like my feet were sore, my Achilles tendon was sore because I had Achilles tendon. I think that's one thing we share.
Yep.
Not our fitness or our looks or why are you so you've got great upper body strength too. For those who are just listening, and you're a marathon runner and you look as muscly as you do. How's that
I'm
work?
probably not a conventional marathon runner. I've been doing rugby first and then CrossFit, and then running was something that I always did track and field, but never marathons. And marathons was sort of, I woke up one day and decided to run a marathon. And much like your experience, I hated it. And the next day I couldn't walk and it was horrible. But then there was something that just left me wanting more. And then the more I did of them.
So you did a marathon, you hated it. Now you're going to do 58 in a row.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think go into things that you dislike and eventually you'll like them or never do them again.
Gee whiz. Well, you know what they say about a marathon. Now, for those who don't know, the first person to run a marathon died.
Yeah, I know.
You know the story about that. But also the marathon, there's a famous saying about it. It's 90% mental and the rest of it's in your head. Have you heard that saying? You haven't heard that one? Oh,
never.
Gee whiz, it's quite. Well, I thought it was a famous saying. Obviously, it's not. But it's like
we're going to steal that.
Yeah, steal away because I didn't make it up. Just pretend that I'd made it up because it sounded intelligent. But
to you.
How do you mentally prepare for that? Like you're going to run a marathon and you're going to feel tired afterwards, and that's an understatement. You're going to feel exhausted. And guess what you're doing the following day and the following day and the following day 58 times. How do you mentally prepare for that?
I've convinced myself that having a new location every day should spruik me up and get me excited, even though half the places we're visiting are like very small towns and, it's not like we're going to New York every day or Tennessee or anything like that. So I'm hoping that will work. The alternative is, a bloke said to me the other day, is like, just get yourself to the point, brainwash yourself to the point where the best thing you've got to do today is run the marathon. So make the comfort of laying in your bed or having a hot chocolate or anything like that just the most terrible thing in your mind, and you'll enjoy it. Haven't managed to get to that point yet, but I'm working on it.
Can I give you a runner's joke that I get asked a lot? And I'm not a runner, but anyway, it's mildly offensive, so we'll see how it goes. But why do runners run first thing in the morning?
I've got no idea, Steve.
Because they ensure the day doesn't get any worse. So, have you heard that one? Oh, my God.
This shows how far removed I am from running. Like, it's just like...
Oh, you're talking about, you've done all these wonderful things and you decided to become a marathon runner. It's like you realize this is a tough sport.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of time in your head, and I think, I'll be able to now recite a couple of those jokes you've left me with.
Look, they're fantastic. We've done a lot of I've got some good news for you about running. We did a podcast on running a little while ago about what it does, and we looked at, there's been a study done, an actual study on professional runners, and they did mile runners. And they've observed that those people that are runners that obviously run the mile, like Steve Bannon and all those sort of guys, they actually live the longest. So they actually extend their lifespan by running. And the author of that paper actually contacted us and said, "Oh, you used our paper in it," which is quite amazing.
That's awesome.
So there is a benefit of running to the human body, of course. And you're not just running this because you want to torture yourself. You're running this for a wonderful cause, men's mental health.
Yeah.
Now, we've done podcasts galore on men's mental health, and just a couple of stats off the top of my head, and they're quite tragic. But of the suicides that are actually turned out to be like suicides where the individual has passed away, 75% of those are men. Mm. I mean, men suffer. 1 in 8 men are depressed in this country. It's really rampant, and so what you're doing, I admire it. I'm in awe. But I'm also like, it's like, wow, you're doing this for men's mental health. I mean, it's an amazing sort of story about, that men's mental health is suffering so bad in this country, and you're doing something about it. I love it. And you want to raise $100,000.
Yeah,
well, I think we can go more than that. Now, where do we go to donate to your cause?
So the Mental Awareness Foundation .com/58 to 58.
Yep.
Because we're raising funds for Mental Awareness Foundation, which is a local Brisbane charity.
Yep.
And who, will then pass the funds on to other frontline people who are working on the ground. So I'm very proud of that. We're actually already up to $60,000. We had a $50,000 donation last week, which was awesome. So it's really about getting that awareness around. But going back to your stats, I think we're already at over 2,000 men who've taken their life this year alone, which is sad. And, 73% of men will never ask for help.
Yes.
Yet, you talk about 1 in 8 men being depressed, or then the statistics with anxiety, and everyone's, 43% of people are going to struggle within their life, which means within this room alone, half of us, 3 of us have been experiencing something like that. So if we can use a run firstly as a way to raise awareness, I think awareness is the first point. But the second point for me is, how do we get people to start putting their hand up and either looking to improve their own life or asking for the help that they need? And that can go from one end, which is the medical route, from psychologists, or the professional route, psychology, psychiatrists, medication, all of that sort of stuff, all the way to lifestyle factors, looking at health, sleep, relationships, supplementation, all of those sorts of things to help you thrive. And that's what I hope within this. And I mentioned at the beginning, Steve, the 58 days is going to, I guess, be a marathon of life in a short period of time, where I think most people at some point in life are very optimistic. We dream and we have this big idea. And for me, in this instance, it's the 58 marathons, very exciting. And a couple of days later, you realize what you've got yourself into. And it's not always the fairy tale that you hope for. In this case, I know I'm going to finish. It's famous last words, but I do believe I'll finish. But it's going to be tough. Like, you're going to have plenty of days where I'm going to have to rely on a support network. Yeah. I'm going to, obviously my Achilles and legs will be quite sore and tired, and it's going to really then start affecting me mentally. And for me, it's leaning on the toolkits that I have. I'm very fortunate. One of my best mates who's coming on the trip is a psychologist, so he'll be able to deal with my head, but also having other mates around that know how I think and operate to help, have me as best supported through this period of time, to then come out the other side. And hopefully, if you can always hold on 1 second longer. I was very fortunate. I think 2020, I interviewed a guy called Kevin Hines, who has a documentary called The Bridge, and he actually jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge and survived. But he...
That's a bridge in America, by the way.
Yeah, bridge in America in San Francisco. Huge bridge. And he knew that from the moment that his hands left the railing, he regretted it instantly. And a lot of research has now shown that if you can hold on for 2 to 3 more seconds, a lot of people can get help and then start getting back to a state where they want to live. Jeez. So I'm hoping by this, if we get community together, we get people moving and active again together, and helping people find purpose. And for me, that's the best way to do that through fitness that I've found, because then you can then take the confidence that you gain, the friendships and all of that, and implement that into the other parts of your life. So we're definitely striving for awareness, but also practical tools to be better.
It's amazing. I mean, my area of expertise obviously is not running, but you know, we look after nutrition here, and your nutrition is going to be so important for this trip. And do you have any questions about nutrition or science or health or anything you want to ask me and that people might be interested in? You know, share your running experiences?
Definitely. And I'm not a professional runner either, everyone. I'm just sort of running this. Yeah. I'm doing enough to get the hours in, but there's definitely a lot. So obviously we've touched on one of the most important things is going to be the recovery. How do you back up day after day after day to have your body as best as it can be feeling? So for me, you can get so much out of food and then you become so full that you can't possibly get the calories in, which is one of the challenges I've faced. So then looking at supplementation, I'm using a lot of ATP products. So for me, I guess the first one is hydration. I'm probably a moderate sweater. In Brisbane at the moment, I'm a ridiculous sweater. Yeah. But I'd say if you compared me to the average punter, I would mildly sweat. So I guess how important is hydration, and obviously supplementing with sodium and electrolytes to get that back first?
Sure. Okay. The reason why you mentioned sodium, and you're correct, sodium is extremely important. For most people, people are on low sodium diets, they think it's bad. It's not if you're sweating a lot.
Yep.
In fact, sodium is required. Otherwise, you can get a condition called hyponatremia, which is, nature or natra is Latin for sodium. Yep. That's why the chemical symbol's Na.
Okay. Like
NaCl. I don't know if people know about that, but hyponatremia can be fatal. So that's why you need that electrolyte plus 3 others, and it's potassium, magnesium, and calcium. And there's a process in the body called osmosis. So people think, hydration, just drink water. No, because you need the electrolytes to hold on to the water via osmosis. So what you need for your case is electrolytes and water and carbohydrate calories and things to buffer against acid buildup. You know, the pain we get in our legs that you'd know about it.
It's horrible.
The lactic acid buildup. There's things that can buffer against that. And there's a thing in your muscles called carnosine, not carnitine. That's different. Carnosine. And carnosine buffers against acid buildup. And you can take a chemical called beta-alanine, which is an amino acid, which forms with histidine in the body and makes this carnosine. So it buffers against acid. And also for yourself, you need a few things like carnitine, which helps make energy, ATP, in your cells. So there's all these things you need to take. And you also need something to help you with the Krebs cycle, which is the energy cycle. So malic acid's good for that. We have a product with all of it in there, all in one. And so that would be a good one to take while you're running, which is called infrared, is our product. And it's full of electrolytes and all those other chemicals all at once. Now, the recovery thing afterwards, this is the base supplements you need to take, is mainly collagen, because collagen makes up about a third of your muscle. About a third of the protein in your body is collagen. There's no whey in your body. Yep. It's still not bad for you. So what you need to do at night is to recover. That's when you recover. So hopefully you're sleeping okay, your body can recover. When you sleep, you release growth hormone, which is a chemical that drives up this insulin-like growth factor stuff to repair your muscles at night. So what we've formulated is a product called Protein Plus, which for you would be excellent. Firstly, it's got the beta-alanine in it, which boosts, buffers against acid and that sort of thing.
Yep.
And it's also, we've put in there branched chain amino acids. Have you heard of those?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, they increase growth and repair. It's also full of collagen, and we put a type of collagen in it called tendofort, which is for your tendons. And we've got body balance in there, which is for the muscles. So, when people say, I want to build muscles, well, you got to build the tendons to go to it. You know about tendon problems.
For sure, yeah.
And so that's already in there. We also put tryptophan in there to help you sleep. We put carnitine in there, which shuttles fat into the cells to be burnt as energy. So this is all in the one product.
So with the Protein Plus so the way that I've been using it currently, because I am using that, I'll use that after a training session, but would that be something that I could also have around, after dinner as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Because you're going to struggle to eat as much as you
already
need
am,
to.
definitely.
Yeah, because you're going to be burning, I don't know how many calories, but bazillion, gazillion.
Yeah,
maybe the highest number known is Google, by the way. People think Google's a search engine. No, it's a mathematical term. When I was a physicist, we learnt Google before Google was around. And Google came out, it confused me because that's a number. A Google is 10 to the power of 100. And most people don't know that.
I never knew that either.
Screwed with me for years because what's Google? Yeah, it's a big number. What is on the computer now? What did you say? So anyway, so you're burning a Google calories is what which is an extraordinarily large number. And so you have it at night because then it'll help you sleep. We also put taurine in there, which helps with your electrolyte balance for people who doing that. We also put in there good old glutamine. 5 grams of glutamine per serve, which helps heal the gut and the muscles because it's found the highest amino acids in your muscles are glutamine.
That's incredible. So can I quickly share what I'm using and then
go for it.
Using it in the right way then from your feedback? So for me, I run most mornings as soon as I get up, but the stack that I'll have, I always throw Mag 4 in there. I know it's like recovery, but I just make a crazy shake. Then my infrared and glutamine, and then straight after training, I'll have either protein water or protein plus, the collagen water. And then in the afternoon, I'll have either at the moment it's the ginger beer protein water, which is delicious.
My wife loves that.
It is bloody amazing. Yeah. So, and I have the stress adapt in the morning and the rest and relax before bed. So is that sort of how, and obviously the bars, I chew on those bad boys all day.
Yeah.
But is that sort of how you would recommend using that based on what you know that I'm doing?
Yeah, the protein plus is a little bit more nuanced for you because of you disclose you've got a tendon injury.
Yes.
It's got tendinite in there, which is literally a tendon collagen.
Okay.
Body balance for the muscles. It's also got the branched chain amino acids for building muscle, and it's got the betaine that helps with acid, and it also helps with increasing testosterone in men, and good for mental health, reduces cortisol. And cortisol is an enemy of mental health because that sucks serotonin out of your head. So it's a very good protein for that. So all the protein water, as you said, which has got collagen in it, because you're doing everything right. The magnesium is interesting because magnesium is usually used to relax you. So you could have a serve at night of magnesium as well, and you're not overdosing on it.
I don't know why I've been taking it in the morning. I just feel, because when I wake up and I walk down the stairs, I'm like, 85-year-old man who hasn't looked after his legs, and I'm hobbling down the stairs until
so it's like me,
until the tendinopathy sort of warms up a bit. So I think I just throw that in then when I probably could have it before bed. You
could have both. Yep. That's the beauty about it because the magnesium acts as like that calcium channel blocker.
Yep.
Now, a calcium channel blocker, people, if there's doctors listening, go, that's a blood pressure medication. Yes, it's when calcium stops going into the cells, it relaxes muscles, relaxes arteries, so it does help you relax your muscles and everything. So it's good for night. Our magnesium has got 4 different types in it. One that helps you sleep, one that helps your cardiovascular system and your heart, and one that helps you relax, and one that helps your energy cycle. That's why it's called Mag 4.
It's a golden ticket then.
It is. That's the geniuses here that call it Mag 4 is because it's got 4 different types of magnesium in it. So, we don't really go through the process. What do we call this for magnesium? Oh, Mag 4. Okay. And that's the meeting. Yeah, done. Let's go home quick. So what you're doing is perfect. It really is.
And would I be able to have more? Like, how much is too much? So obviously over like a multi-day endurance event, is there the risk of obviously getting like gut issues or fatigue as a result of having too much? So for example, in an ideal world, and I think when I start the runs, I'd like to have the protein water more as like a snow cone because we'll be in the snow. So I'm thinking, ginger beer flavored that'd be awesome. Yeah, it'd be beautiful. But then 2 of the protein pluses, like one after the run and one sort of before bed. That's
completely fine.
Yeah, cool.
Because with collagen, because it's the muscles, you're only having about 15 to 20. The protein plus has about 30-something grams of protein. But for what you're doing, you got to remember most people who are bodybuilders who, it's extreme. They have up to 4 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. Now, I don't know how much you weigh, but let's say you're 90 kilos.
I wish. I've just cracked the 80s for the first. I'm back down to 79.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't been under 80 since I was about 20.
God.
Yeah.
So, that's 240 grams of protein a day that you can have that we know is safe and works. Now, it's a high protein diet. But with your level of activity, you're gonna destroy, because basically when you exercise, you break down muscle tissue.
Yes.
So, I would take those 3. That'd be absolutely fine. Plus your normal diet. And remember, you're not going to be eating much food when you're running a marathon. When I ran a marathon, I felt like dying, but apart from that, I didn't feel hungry because it's like just running marathons was tough. The only thing that cheered me on with my events is because there's people cheering for you.
Yeah.
You're going to do most of it on your own.
Yeah, I've got my brother-in-law and a camera crew, so I'm hoping some people cheer me on. I'll definitely need it. I've given myself a little bit of a treat, like I haven't been training with headphones, so it's just like a great conversation with yourself, as you can imagine.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
When it does start to hurt, then I'll get to listen to some music. So I'm going to ask people to help me build a playlist and see what's on there.
I think I know one of the bands you'll be listening to.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. We saw this, for those who don't know, my wife's a part of the band Shepherd, and we saw this lady in America run a whole marathon with one song, or half marathon with one song, and it was like however many times. And I ran the Nashville Marathon with one of their songs. It's the first time a Shepherd song's been in my Spotify Wrapped, because we listen on Dropbox. That's why. On Dropbox. That's why. But this year was number 3, and I was like 370 plays, and I reckon 100 of those came from the marathon that I ran with the same song on, just testing it out. God. So we'll see how that goes, but that'll be good fun. But it's interesting. This is like obviously a segue, but how many musicians now are going sober or starting to look after their health? I know Sam was at a festival on the weekend where Sum 41 pulled out, and obviously this was supposed to be their final tour, I think. But the lead singer had pneumonia, but he's obviously been sick for years, hence why they're sort of wrapping up.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of musicians, like we originally found out about ATP, I think it was 2018 when Cara Saunders, friends with Cara Saunders, and then my wife started on Gut Right, and so Liam's wife, and they loved that. And then we started ordering all the products, and that's how we got involved with ATP and found the podcast. So it's been cool listening to the podcast and I guess hearing about health in a way that we normally don't get to hear about it. It's been really cool. So now as well, like when we tour, we are all sober on the tours because you just can't possibly.
Sure you are.
Yeah. No, it's really hard to do the shows and get up early, be back on the road when you're hungover or chemically enhanced.
I know that firsthand. Yep.
So we've all done that for the last 12 months, and it's made the tour life a lot different, obviously. But everyone's feeling great and looking heaps better as well.
Oh yeah,
mentally we're a lot more stable because you know what it's like on the road. It's
shocking,
very tough. Instead, I just get addicted to running.
What
are some of the common things that you see endurance athlete or common mistakes endurance athletes make around nutrition and diet, especially if you were in my shoes and you're about to run 58 marathons, knowing what you from speaking to Dean and various other people, what should be some things that need to be aware of?
Be aware of eating too many carbohydrates at night.
Oh, okay.
I know that sounds like, because when you eat a lot of carbohydrates at night, it spikes a lot of insulin and then insulin drops away and you can get blood sugar problems. When you're exercising, the cells of your body open up to let carbohydrates in. So you can have carbohydrates while you're exercising and have some soon after you exercise, but don't eat them till the cows come home because most of your calories are going to be burnt from fat. When you exercise, because you haven't got much fat, but I've got plenty of fat to run a marathon without eating. So because of the length of the activity, 3 to 4 hours, how fast are you going to run these marathons in?
My goal is to do them all sub 4. So if I can do them, what I've been training for is 5:47-minute kilometers. So if I can hold that, that's pretty comfortable. So that's about 4 hours.
Yeah, okay. That's
about
do that, as fast as I can ever do one. Can't even do, But yeah, so you're going to be 4 hours of very high physical.
To be fair as well, like if my body is saying no, like if it's doing whatever, I'm obviously going to listen to my body because the goal is complete in the 58 more so than the 4 hours. But that's just like a personal goal that I'd like to hit if I'm feeling good. And it's to hold me accountable to make sure that I'm eating because I don't eat a lot as is. Like before I started properly training for this, I was eating about 1,800 to 2,000 calories a day, which is
low for a man.
Yeah, very low. So now it's like the lads have to make sure that I eat every day, eat the right amount, or I'm not allowed to go to bed. And same with stretching as well. Like if I don't do those things, regardless of how tired I am, I've got to do those. Otherwise, the body's going to pay later on. Because
our enemy is lactic acid, right? Lactic acid is the anaerobic or without oxygen metabolism of glucose.
Yep.
So if you're not fat adapting yourself, you're going to be burning too much glucose. And if a lot of that goes anaerobic, you'll get a lactic acid buildup, which causes catabolism or breakdown of muscle and pain. And that'll stop you.
Yep.
That'll stop you in your tracks. Be careful. Are you on any medications, prescription medications?
No.
Well, that's good because you've got to watch blood pressure medications when you exercise. They're problematic too. So, but yeah, that's one of the things. And second thing is try and get some deep sleep. So take some of that herbal stuff that helps you sleep. Like we got rest and relax.
Yeah,
you know,
I love
that will really help you.
Yeah,
that'll really help because sleep is when you recover. You know, and try and also get massages in there if you can.
It's your job, Liam.
Oh, Liam, there you go.
My brother-in-law is coming along, so that'll be great. But no, the rest and relax has been awesome. It's beside the bed, and that's what I have every night. And I think, as I was saying to you before, I rode 30 marathons in 30 days a couple of years ago, and I didn't have
30, nothing.
Yeah, it was nothing. It was a wake up, get it done, get to bed. But my body was so fatigued. It felt like I could feel like this neural pain all the way down to my toes. So trying to sleep like that, you're just restless all night. And that's one of the things that I'm not worried about, but I'm probably preparing to experience. And that's why when I was talking to Sam, I was like, what do you reckon based on all the ins and outs you know about the sups that I should be having? And that's what he recommended.
Look, the great thing about the nerve pain, it's often relieved with B vitamins, the activated B vitamins, and we sell them in our Stress and Adapt.
Yep.
So that's a really good one. It's also got other things in there like ashwagandha, which is like one of the ginsengs, which is a type of herbs that it's called an adaptogen. So it's funny because the Stress Adapt has ashwagandha in it and helps you pep you up in the morning.
Yep.
And the Rest and Relax, main ingredient, ashwagandha helps you sleep. It's, you know, it has this balancing effect. So very important stuff. But yeah, they're the tips of advice. But my advice for you is don't run 58 marathons.
Just don't even go there.
But no. So
but that's even one thing I've found with my wife. If she was going to come here, if she were here, she's so stoked about the collagen protein as opposed to whey because it's not good for my guts. Whereas the collagen protein's been a real treat.
Humans have been consuming collagen for over 1 million years. We weren't designed to run around and suck on a cow's udder.
You wonder who the first bloke who did that was.
I wonder extremely long. We've done a podcast called Scary Dairy, and we think, how has that evolved? It's weird stuff to me. It's like hunting down and kill a bowl of wheat. You know, it's like we didn't do that. This is not evolutionary sound. But collagen, we've eaten animals for years. It's really bizarre the way the human diet has gone.
What would be like a protocol if I'm feeling pretty knackered midway through a marathon?
You will be.
Depleted. Say, for example, I've not eaten well the night before or even eaten the morning of. What would you recommend would be like the go-to sort of thing to try midway through, whether it's supplementation or...
Supplementation, it'd have to be something liquidy because you don't want a food. So the one we've got for that is infrared.
Yep.
Now, infrared has got all sorts of cool things in it, but one of the main things it's got in it is creatine, which your body will be depleted when you exercise. It's also high in carbohydrates, but it's also got those electrolytes. But it's also good for beta-alanine, which buffers against acid, but it's also got L-citrulline in it for circulation. So that will get your body moving, give it the minerals, give it the carbohydrates to actually work because when you're exercising, you want carbohydrates.
And should I just be doing the 3 standard scoops or do you feel based on the
more than that?
Yeah. I could get away with maybe 6 or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Over a 4-hour period. Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, and it comes to a point where you've got to watch your blood vessels and how they react because the stress constricts your blood vessels, blood pressure goes up.
Yep.
That's why it's funny because even the colorants in that, we use beetroot, and beetroot's high in nitrates, and nitrates is what the chemical that dilates your blood vessels. So it's very good product to take while you're exercising. It's exactly what it's formulated for.
And obviously the infrared as well, because I'm doing 2 to 3 strength sessions a week. I haven't been using the infrared for the strength. I've been using that for the aerobic training, and then max lift for strength. Is that?
Yes, exactly. Max Lift is the name. So, you know, one of these marketing meetings. What do we call this product that's designed to let people lift the maximum? Oh, Max Lift. So exactly. You know, that's exactly how we sell everything. The mango one's really good because we color it with turmeric, which is anti-inflammatory. Oh, cool. But yeah, so it's all, by the way, all these supplements, there's no sucralose or any of that, aspartame, no artificial sweeteners. So it should be gentle on the gut. Yeah,
I haven't had any issues so far. But could I use infrared during weight training as well? Or?
Absolutely, you could because you need calories.
Yep.
You know, based on what your diet. So Max Lift's really good. It's got similar ingredients to Max Lift. This. Yep. We also put Schisandra berries in there, which is a great thing to help with short-term or long-term aerobic exercise. So it's in both products, Sandra.
Cool.
So it's a really good product for both those things.
Love it. I like it. I think that's got most of my questions answered. I'm very excited for it. I'm very stoked that I've had the opportunity to have a yarn to you today. I'm also hoping that at some point along the run, I can just give you a bit of a FaceTime and show you my concoctions that I've brewed up along the way of mixing Max Lift with infrared and probably a hot chocolate or two. That's actually just quickly on the hot chocolate. Hot chocolate, my wife and I smash those every night. How many is too many?
It's only 15 grams, 10, 15 grams of collagen. So you're not getting much collagen out. If you take one serve, it's 150 milligrams of magnesium, and it's a type of magnesium called magnesium diglycinate or bisglycinate, whichever way you pronounce it. Now, glycine and magnesium both independently help you sleep. So that's why we put it in the nighttime one. Magnesium citrate is good for energy production, but we put the glycine one at night. So you can't really overdose on this stuff. Sure. It's naturally sweetened. It's got loads of cocoa, and chocolate is good for you. Not the sugar, because there's no sugar in this one, but it's the cocoa is very good for your blood vessels and everything too. So, people think chocolate's bad for you. It's actually good for you, but not the one from the servo that's got half of its sugar. That's really bad for you, but chocolate's very good for you. So that's a really good product to take at night. Full of collagen, helps you sleep, and helps your body recover.
Is there anything that I'm not using that you would recommend?
Well, you said the Mag 4. That's one it's really good. Out of our products, I think you've got the Max Lift, you've got the infrared, you've got the Protein Plus is really what you need. Yeah. Those two capsules, the Stress Adapt and Rest and Relax are really good. I can't think of anything else that you need. There's things like the hot chocolate you could have as because that's a good mood booster. Chocolate's very good for your mood too. And I feel you're gonna have some bad days.
I'm gonna have some very bad days.
Yeah. God, I'm sound pessimistic, don't I? But no,
it's just a realist.
It's just I mean, you've just got to you've got to embrace the suck, as they say. That's what you're really gonna go through a tough time. But I think what you're having and what we've talked about, I think is you've pretty well covered.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for your time today, Steve. It's been awesome.
No worries. Great to chat.
Thanks
we'll chat again soon.
As well. Yeah, I look forward to it once I'm done and you're helping me rebuild.
When you're done, I'm going to be stalking you online. I'm going to watch this. I'm going to see how this goes. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great fun.
And seriously, good luck with everything.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks for coming along today.